Welcome to Midday News on Ogun State Television. My name is Opeyemi Adeomi. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has inaugurated the 3.5-kilometer Professor Wole Soyinka Ladiri train road in Abeokuta, a development expected to ease movement and boost social-economic activities in the state. Our correspondent Yusuf Ganiya reports that the governor assured of more people-oriented project. His report.
This plaque was unveiled in commemoration of the commissioning of Ladiri.
According to Governor Abiodun, the opening of the Professor Wole Soyinka Ladiri train station road marks a significant milestone in infrastructure development, delivering wide-ranging social and economic benefits to Abeokuta and surrounding communities. He appreciated President Bola Tinubu for his developmental strides across the country, noting that the road complements the federal government's efforts, support ease of doing business, and align with the state's transportation master plan. Abiodun emphasized that the road's significance is not in its length, but in its impact on residents. He reiterated his administration's commitment to inaugurating more roads across the state.
We have at least 20 roads ready for commissioning across the 3 total districts. I mean, from Ijebu to Remo to Egba to Yewa. 20 roads are waiting commissioning. We're a very deliberate administration. We will not pay attention to any backing door. We're going to remain laser focused. Like they say, nobody throws stones at the right foot. So anybody that attempts to slander us on social media, we appreciate the fact that it's because of how intimidating this administration is. So we have no response for them. Our response will be by commissioning roads every week for the next 2 months. Every week we'll be commissioning 2 roads. Every week.
Highlighting previous achievements, the governor noted that his administration has reconstructed major roads, including Ijebu-Ode-Mujoda Epe Road, Agbara Aton-Lusada Road, Shagamu-Ijebu-Ode Road, and Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta Road, promising completion of ongoing projects within the next 9 months.
From our industrial corridor, the Ipo corridor, all the way to Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to the internal. That road was in a total state of disrepair. And these roads have been existing before I became governor. Other governors have been coming and going. I don't pay attention to this road though. When I attempted to start the construction of this road, even the federal government at that time started fighting me. One minister said that Abiodun knows the law. He knows that he cannot go and reconstruct that road. And I said, you know what? I will reconstruct that road and take it to people's court. Come and stop me. Today, I proudly beat my chest and said that road will be completed in the next 9 months.
On the state economy, Governor Abiodun disclosed that Ogun's economic output has grown from 4 trillion naira when he has in office to 17 trillion naira, roughly $12 billion. He also pledged to reconstruct the deteriorating Olukuta-Idiaba Road.
We have to make a choice between reconstructing Ladiri to Shagamu-Abeokuta or Idiaba Olukuta to Ladiri. And we made the choice to reconstruct this section first because we realized that this section of that road is the one that carries more traffic. But having said that, if our honorable has made a request of me alongside with the council chairman of both Obafemi Wode and Abeokuta South and all others that they represent, I have no choice but to promise you that we will begin the reconstruction of the Idiaba to Aladiri immediately.
He assured the residents that his administration will continue to deliver impactful projects for the people until the end of his tenure. Yusuf Ganiya, OGTV News.
The Ogun State government has dismissed as blackmail and reckless defamation allegations by a Labour Party chieftain, Arabambi Abayomi, that the administration of Dapo Abiodun is selling government-owned housing assets, including the Ibara Government Reserve Area. The government described Abayomi as an attention-seeker rabble-rouser with a penchant for blackmail, alleging that there were his claims were motivated by resentment after he was kept at arm's length by the administration. In a statement issued in Abeokuta, the Special Advisor on Media and Strategy to the Governor, Honorable Kayode Akimade, said the allegations were misleading and deliberately aimed at distorting the state ongoing urban renewal program. Akimade said it was ironic for Abayomi to portray the revitalization of GRAs across the state as the sale of public assets, noting that the initiative had received commendation from eminent Nigerians. He called that former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the Alaki of Egwaland, Adedotun, Madibo, and the General Overseer of Citadel Global Church, Community Church, Tunde Bakare, had all praised the project, while all transforming GRAs into modern smart cities. He explained that the program covers GRAs in Ibara and Ijaba, Abeokuta, Iweba, Ijebu-Ode, Ilaro, and Ota, and includes the rehabilitation of old structures, the construction of new housing units, and the provision of modern infrastructure such as roads, drainages, water supply, and electricity. According to him, the project spans over 100 hectares, while it's planned for 500 housing units in Ibara and 100 units in Ijaba, adding that more than 150 houses had already been completed. Akimade further alleged that Abayomi had previously organized several press conferences praising Governor Abiodun in an attempt to ingratiate himself with the government, but became hostile after what he described as the discovery of his multiple faces and his subsequent sidelining. He accused the Labour Party chieftain of habitually seeking relevance by attacking government that declines to patronize him and urged the public to disregard his claims. In fulfillment of his promise to continuously reward excellence among the workforce, the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, has rewarded outstanding students ranging from public and private primary, secondary, and tertiary schools categories, as well as teachers in schools who have distinguished themselves by winning laurels in state-based and national competition. The Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbagbo, while presenting checks for the excellent performance in Abeokuta, explained that the gesture was in fulfillment of the Governor's promise during the 2025 combined convocations of Moshood Abiola Polytechnic Ujiri and Ogun State Polytechnic of Health and Allied Science Ilese to award best graduating students with cash gifts ranging from 2 to 2.5 million naira each. Professor Ariba noted that the back-to-back feats recorded among the primary and secondary school learners was a testament that the investment of the present administration in the education sector was yielding desired results. Professor Arigbagbo also disclosed that the state has not only become a model to other states, but also to the Federal Ministry of Education.
Here in the state, we are doing something in the education sector, which is actually yielding results. It's not just affecting our students, it's also affecting our teachers. I want to congratulate those who have won this award, and I want you to let us know that it's not the end, it's actually the beginning. But I will say you are not starting. Yes, but it is something to spur you.
Speaking, Director of Education, Department of Science and Technology, Mrs. Abosede Edun, stated that learners' performance at the 2025 National Institute of Physics Conference, National Science Teachers Association of Nigeria, Joint Engineering and Technician Scientists competition, among others, were quite impressive, saying the contingent emerged with 7 first positions in different categories, 2 second positions in third categories, as well as 1 fourth position. Commending the Ministry for its unflinching support, the State Chairman of STAN, Dr. Yomi Onanuga, described the choice of making Professor Arigbagbo the Commissioner for Education as a round peg in a round hole. Appreciating the government, the 2025 overall best student graduating students, Moshood Abiola Polytechnic Ujiri, Joseph Owolabi, and the 2025 best teacher in Nigerian primary category, Mr. Francis Shulanke, promised to continually be good ambassadors for their schools and the state as large. The highlights of the cash awards categories include combined overall best graduating students from the tertiary institutions and winners with various prizes at the 2025 Dapo Abiodun Teachers and School Excellence Award. Meanwhile, the Ogun State chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools, ASUS, has commended Governor Dapo Abiodun for what is described as sustained efforts to create a more enabling environment for teachers and strengthen the education sector in the state. The union applauded the governor's commitment to educational development, particularly the recent appointment of 2 principal generals, which it said reflects deliberate steps to enhance leadership in public secondary schools. In an appreciation letter made available to the media and jointly signed by the state chairman, Comrade Oluwaseun Felix Agbesowa, and the state secretary, Comrade Oluseyi Bankole, ASUS said the Abiodun administration is positioned to lead the education sector in Ogun State better than its mates. The union congratulated Mr. Matthew Oshilesi, appointed Principal General of Remo Division, and Mr. Yakubu Lamidi, Principal General of Ijebu Division, urging them to justify the confidence reposed in them by serving with dedication and professionalism. According to ASUS, the appointments were intended to strengthen administrative leadership in schools across the state and improve the overall quality of secondary education. ASUS also commended the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Atakubo Talabi, and the Head of Service, Mr. Kendi Onosoya, for their roles in ensuring that teachers' concerns are heard and addressed under the current administration. The union further praised the chairman of the Teaching Service Commission, TESCO, Apostle Abiodun Soyalu, noting that under his leadership, 3 education officers were elevated in the latest round of appointment. It assured the TESCOM chairman of his continued support and cooperation in strengthening secondary school education in the state. ASUS also congratulated all newly sworn-in appointees and urged them to discharge their duties with humility, compassion, and fairness. Away from that, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Y.D. Shuaibu, has promised to continue to deploy personnel and operational resources to address security challenges on the plateau and other parts of the country. Shuaibu gave the assurance during a courtesy visit to the Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutwang as part of his operational and familiarization tour of Army formations in the state. A statement by the Army spokesperson, Colonel Apollo, said the Army Chief reaffirmed the service commitment to restoring lasting peace and security, noting that troops will continue to be professionally deployed to mitigate threats and protect lives and property. He acknowledged the security challenges in the state were complex, but stressed that sustained collaboration, intelligence sharing, and joint efforts among stakeholders will yield positive results. The federal government has unveiled plans to increase the contribution of Nigerian livestock subsector to the nation's gross domestic product from $32 billion to over $74 billion within the next 10 years. The Minister of Livestock Development, Ide Mukhtar Mehar, during the livestock stakeholders engagement organized by the Kwara State Government, which brought together more than 250 players across the livestock value chain, represented at the event by special advisors, said the federal government was committed to repositioning the livestock sector as a major driver of food security, job creation, and economic growth. According to Mehar, food security remains a critical component of national security, which underpins the government's decision to place livestock development on the front burner. The strategy has been internalized and approved by the National Economic Council for a more sustainable model for livestock development. On the foreign scene, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accepted an invitation to join U.S. President Donald Trump's Board of Peace aimed at resolving conflicts. Netanyahu's office said Wednesday Prime Minister Netanyahu announced that he has accepted U.S. President Donald Trump's invitation and will join as member of the Board of Peace, which will be composed of leaders of the world. The board was originally conceived to oversee the rebuilding of post-war Gaza, but its charter does not appear to limit its role to the Palestinian territory, and members have to pay up to $1 billion for a permanent spot on it. It will be chaired by Trump himself, who would also separately serve as a representative of the United States. Dozens of countries and leaders have said they have received an invitation, including close U.S. allies but also adversaries. Longtime U.S. ally France, however, has indicated it will not join. And in the world of sports, Angola, Tunisia, and Gabon have shown interest in Super Eagles Eric Chelle after a successful AFCON Tunisia, Angola and Gabon are without a coach after performing poorly in the AFCON, and Chel is one of the candidates of their wish list. The Malian coach rejected Tunisia after being approached during the tournament, but Angola and Gabon are now pushing out. Chel is set to meet with the Nigerian Football Federation in the coming days to discuss his future, while interest from other national teams continue to intensify. We now wrap up the news with this word. A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality. And that is how we'll come to the end of the news today. Many thanks for watching Midday News on Ogun State Television. I am Opayemi and we will see.